The scenario the hazmat students were given today is a chlorine leak at a rail car in the Port of Tampa. The first team has gone in and kind of surveyed the area and seen exactly where the leak was coming from. The second team is going in now with a kit to actually patch the leak, stop the leak, and basically take care of the problem. The kit that we see them taking out to the rail car is something called a chlorine C kit. We asked firefighter Ledoux what a chlorine C kit is and what it contains.
This is a chlorine C kit. It's for chlorine, obviously, for tank cars and trucks. And we go up and what it does is it's supposed to stop the leak that we're working on.
What are some of the tools in there that you were checking out? If you could just pop the top for us.
There's wrenches. There's two different types of valves that can be up there. One's a square and one's round. And then we have gaskets that we put on there in order to allow none of the chlorine to come out. And then we have this right here that actually tightens down. It goes on there. And then we have relief valves, so in order to not store any pressure in there, it keeps letting out until we actually get it sealed. And then we'll go ahead and then we seal it and we'll tighten it so that no more chlorine will leak.
The hazmat students are also taking gas meters into the environment. These gas meters provide real-time information about how much chemical is coming out of the car, and they'll relay that information back to the commanders in charge of this scenario.
Hey, I'm going to go up there and cut it, and then you get all this stuff out and lay it all out, and then we'll put this box underneath these stairs to get up. Entry team 2 to entry team leader. Entry team 2 about to climb tank car and cut wire.
This one right here.
It's liquid.
So it's in line, so it's liquid. Hey, give me the tires and stuff and to see if I can tighten this down.
Captain Beaver explains what this team just accomplished and what will happen next.
Come on up! Team entry 2 to team entry command. We got all the equipment up here. We're going to go ahead and come back and have the third entry team apply the C kit. That's acknowledged. We're making our way back to decon. Acknowledged. We got the equipment on top of the tank. The lid is open and it's ready to be sealed. Entry team 2 to entry command. We did have time to tighten all the nuts and bolts and everything. It didn't solve the problem, so it does need to have the C-kit applied.
On our simulated chlorine rail car leak, we simulated a liquid line on the top of the dome that has a leak in it. And the second entry team basically carried up what we call our chlorine C kit, which is a special equipment that is designed for a chlorine rail car, whether it's a liquid or a vapor, line that's leaking. We can solve either one of those problems. This particular team, they were tasked with gaining access into that dome cover because it was locked. They had to cut a chain off or a lock off. and then to determine which one, whether they had a liquid or a vapor line, and then basically just get the equipment up there. Being in these level A suits is extremely physically taxing, and we limit their time to only 20 minutes from the time they go on air until right now, as we see, they're about to go through the, they're about to enter that decon system. That gives us some margin of safety. If there's an emergency that comes up, we don't have to rip them right out of the suits, because again, we're simulating they were on a chlorine rail car. They were heavily contaminated with chlorine gas, and it's all over those suits. So now we've got to go through the motions of deconning and getting all that cleaned off.
We caught up with firefighter Ledoux just as he was finishing up on the decontamination line to find out what this experience was like. Firefighter Matt
Bobby,
Cohan
you've worked
tells us
in
why he
firefighting
chose
gear
to take
before.
on the
How
additional
much more difficult
responsibilities
is it
of
in this
becoming a
chemical
hazardous
protective suit?
materials technician.
Very much so. It's very hot. Your dexterity, you don't have any. Your shoes are 2-3 sizes bigger. Trying to climb up that rail car, it's nearly impossible. I mean, you got to really watch out for your safety and everything. It's very difficult to move around in these suits.
Well, in the late 80s, we recognized the need to develop a hazardous materials team, and we got a select group of individuals who volunteered for this special training, put them in our training center and gave them, I think, 4 solid weeks of basic training, bought all the equipment, and then we were out ready to go into the field.
Very good. Now also there's a lot of rules covering this hazardous materials response, isn't there?
The federal government certainly has a lot of regulations, OSHA and the EPA, and we certainly use those rules and guidances for the direction and the rules and regulations that we develop for our own team.
Well, I wanted to be able to fulfill, every position in the department. I want to be able to ride on the hazmat truck. I want to be able to ride on the rescue car, and every truck that we have, apparatus that we have, I want to be able to be on it or relief drive, anything that I can do.
We're really proud of these individuals that they're willing to step up and go the extra mile to take additional training for a very special need. It's certainly a need within the community, and these individuals have agreed to step up and take that extra training. We're really proud of them.
As everyone knows, firefighting is a very challenging career physically, and these individuals, as you can see, are working very hard here today, and this is just a training session. They've risen to the call of their community to be prepared to handle any type of emergency that could strike our community.
More than 100 times last year, Tampa's team responded to a hazardous materials emergency, from a gas leak to a chemical release. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next month on Scene with Tampa Fire Rescue.